on Facebook and check and see what's happening out there, or reading blogs. For instance, 45% of Gen Yers read blogs every day. So that's become a source of information and a source of information or cyclical communication by being able to respond to postings on a blog. 45% read a newspaper daily, but here's the interesting part. 79% of those that are reading the newspaper daily are doing it online. So they really don't want to hold that print piece in their hand anymore. And 25% use mobile devices to access social media. So not only are they on the phone all the time talking to people, they're also accessing, their Facebook page and their Twitter accounts and everything else that's important to them via mobile communications. When it comes to consumer behavior overall, what I'd like to do in this session is I'm going to talk about some very general trends of things that seem to be happening, and I'm going to try to provide you with some specific actionable ways to tap into what's happening from a conference and special event venue perspective. I gather a lot of my information about what's happening out there from a website called trendwatching.com, all one word, trendwatching.com. And this is a site that if you don't already subscribe to it or visit it, you can go and you could read articles without subscribing, and then you can get deeper information by being a subscriber or a member of trendwatching.com. For me, I think it's a really excellent resource, and I would encourage you to take a look at it and see if it's something you might want to buy into, because I'm more interested in, as a marketing and sales professional, I'm more interested in consumer trends and then modifying my marketing and sales behavior for my product around these more generalized consumer trends than I am about someone telling me a specific trend within my industry and here's what's happening, because I think then I become a follower rather than a leader. And so for me, I'd like to take an innovative approach and say, consumer trends say people tend to do this and like to do this and prefer this. And then trying to think of dynamic ways to do outreach and sell to potential clients based upon that. So one of the things that really struck me as I was reading trendwatching.com and looking to see what was happening with consumers was a briefing they did called Random Acts of Kindness. And I've seen this around other places, and it's really caught my attention because I even see commercials, people tapping into the random acts of kindness type behavior in commercials. I think it's State Farm or one of the insurance companies shows a series of people in a short period of time and how one random act of kindness flows into another random act of kindness, into another random act of kindness. I don't know if you can recall that commercial, but I just saw it again last night, so I know it's still on television. What basically trendwatching.com is saying is that consumers are more into a kinder, giving, social conscience product, and they're more apt to do business with them. Specifically, it says consumers have become weary of corporate mentalities and sterile approaches to business. Open communication and access to online methods of outreach with and between consumer and business makes it easier to lessen the impersonal approach to business. And so there was a big push to be a great customer service provider throughout these past couple decades. This takes it one step further and says, not only do we expect good customer service, but we don't want a sterile or major corporate approach. We want a nice, relaxed approach. There's all kinds of ways that you can communicate with me. Please do so. So let's take a look at that. How can you see and be seen and know that you are a kind company, a consumer-oriented company, a socially conscious company? Well, one of the things you can do is show your company's human side. And, we are now a culture of sharers. We love to share everything about our lives through Facebook, through Twitter. I think we have to be careful that we don't overshare, but at the same time, people like to see the human side of a company. So here's a for instance, Unique Venues has we have our own Facebook page, and on that Facebook page we do primarily talk a lot about our venues and connecting planners with our venues, but you're also going to see things that happen within the company that are very human, our gathering at the holidays, pictures of the owner of the company and myself watching the Steeler game with our number one finger up, and those types of things to show that we have a little bit of a human side, that there's actually a face and a soul to the person that you talk to on the phone. Another thing is to be transparent. As consumers, we tend to buy from those we trust. We used to do business in the United Kingdom, and we really tried to put a major effort into it. This certainly isn't a criticism of how we approached our business, nor the lack of response to our business that we had when we tried to do business overseas. But the truth of the matter is, these venues didn't know us. We were to them a company that had an online presence, and for them, we were nothing but a URL. We didn't have that human side. We did go over, and for several years, we did well in the United Kingdom because we started to go over and really participate in programs and have people get to know us. But unfortunately, the economic downturn had to have us take a little bit of a different approach there. But what I'm saying is that people want to know who you are. They want to, they do business with people, not necessarily a product. The product's got to be good. But all consumers have options. And so you want to try to be as transparent as a company as you possibly can. We have, as I said, a culture of sharers. I also call it a culture of putting it out there. I can go online because I have many friends, quote unquote, friends on Facebook, both corporately and personally, that are customers. And I can go on and I can see somebody who might have typed, "I had the worst day of my life." And this gives me the opportunity to respond to them and say, "Hey, I hope you have a good day today. How's everything going?" I do it with a genuine spirit. I think that it's known that when you're being too businessy about things, but I think it's important that you can go out there and kind of get the temperature of how your clients are actually doing, not just from a business sense, but a personal sense as well. You can look and react to what your customers are feeling and putting out there. There's some great examples that I came across that I'd like to share with you now. First of all, I call it share the love examples. I really think this is great. And with technology today, the things that you can do are amazing. So here's an example. There's a company in Great Britain called Interflora. They're a florist company. And Interflora decided that they were going to make people's day. And their program for making people's day entailed them monitoring Twitter feeds throughout the UK. And whenever they came upon a Twitter feed that was really negative, somebody might have tweeted, "I'm having a horrible day. I wrecked my car this morning and it's just things aren't getting any better," or something like that. Somebody tweets a really negative message like that. Interflora's team picks up on that tweet and they actually have a bouquet of flowers delivered to that person saying, "I hope your day gets better." So it's just a nice pick-me-up, a nice surprise that they are implementing. So that's an example of how Interflora, one company, is using Twitter